Do you trust your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News. News.
Violence, murder, and wrongful insemination tonight on Nailsin News. Yep, that's the topics and many more. Sadly, or however you see, no teacher sex scandals. I know that'll be a letdown for A. Thompson, who is in the chat right now. Happy New Year, Doug says A. Thompson. Happy New Year to you too, A. Thompson. But perhaps, just perhaps, that terrible trend of sex scandals at school has finally come to an end. Well, one can only hope. Wallace Lang. Hail, Mr. Nailsin. Why, thank you. Hello to you, too. All right, might as well get to it. There, I might do a little bit of artwork. I was in the middle of working on this cartoon before interrupted, by live streaming. It happens. It happens on occasion. So we'll get to it. One of the things of certain kinds of injuries one can suffer from an assault, broken bones, stab wounds and stuff. But one of the dread that you have to dread the most is your eyes. Yeah. Well, have I got the story for you? Yeah. Here we go. Man gouged out 75-year-old woman's eye in random attack outside county courthouse. Well, he's right there. The boy, look at that jacket. Who's that remind you of? No, it wasn't him. It's this guy. There's the poor lady on the street, and moments before this bat with nails in it struck her in the face. Yeah. So a man in Seattle, Washington, there you go, swung a large board with a screw sticking out of it. Oh, it's a screw instead of a nail. Well, my mistake. Sorry. Out of it at a 75-year-old woman standing on the corner of a major downtown street, hitting her in the eye and partially blinding her. Fail P. 42. Fail P. 42 stands charged with first-degree assault with a deadly weapon causing bodily harm. He has pled not guilty. Not guilty, huh? Yeah. The harrowing attack occurred on the late morning of December 5th along 3rd Avenue outside the King County Courthouse in the Emerald City. Surveillance footage captured by a local affiliate showed Jeanette Markin standing on the corner, reportedly waiting to cross the street to pick up a food order. Suddenly, a person alleged to be P walked up, a long wooden board in hand, drew back, and swung. Markin's right eye was struck and gouged out. Bystanders took photos of the suspect and then came to the victim's defense. But, you got to get those photos first. Anyway, she was brought to a hospital where doctors told her she will not recover eyesight in her right eye and that she may need more surgery. Police arrested P nearby, with police body camera footage showing officers knew about the suspect from prior events. You don't say. Who is this guy? A paramedic asked the officer who was wearing the body camera. He's a regular, he responds. He usually punches. I guess today he decided to escalate things way worse than his usual. Yeah, that's common. these violent, crazy nuts, they don't belong out in the open like that. They don't, because it escalates into something like this. Anyway, the officer added that P frequents 3rd Avenue, with another cop saying he's notorious for random assaults on 3rd. The suspect has reportedly been convicted multiple times in the past for assault, including stabbing someone 8 times at a party. So he's already escalated. Court records show a competency hearing was initiated for P on December 11th. A judge declared that he had been deemed fit to stand trial. For Markin's family, the violence on the street and the question of whether the attack could have been avoided loom large. To take a wood club with nails and just, no, I'm going to hit her with all the force on her face is like, that's not someone you can recover or help. Andreas Varicus, her son, told the local TV station, I want someone to at least say to my mom, hey, we're working on this. We're trying to fix this. What the hell is wrong with your system? He asked. Yeah, there isn't one. They just let him go. I'm not entirely certain that he's going to do a lot of time even for this. I mean, it's Seattle, you know. P is jailed under a $1 million bond. His trial is expected to begin sometime early next year. Yeah. I mean, he'd already stabbed somebody 8 times. It's attempted murder. And there he is in his territory, all 3rd Avenue. That belongs to P. So there you go. It's pretty obvious what the problem is here. Seattle likes to let unhinged, violent nuts walk free. Now you got a woman who's half blind. Great. Great. Wallace says, beware of the insanity of those who reside in the left coast, for they will maim and kill without suffering from their actions. Yeah, that tends to be the rule. I guess that is a commandment for the left coast. Yeah. So, anybody looking to vacation in Seattle, you know, it's funny, you know, in the 90s, you know, Seattle was all cool and stuff because, you know, alternative rock and grunge and all that. Now all it produces is unhinged, homicidal maniacs. A. Thompson, they just keep releasing them. Yeah, that's what happened. A. Thompson, I'm actually talking about Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, other people got the same problem, you know, a lot of, especially like with the stories out of New York with bail reform and everything, you know, and you know, this is, these are difficult issues. We really need social workers to deal with the guy with a club and screws after he has already stabbed somebody 8 times. Well, I guess he escalated things. He already had. And, Okay. No, it's not okay, but, you know, you get the idea. Oh, well, let's go see what's happening in Florida. Oh, you can always count on Florida for stories. You really can. At least, you know, I do. Oh, yes. I do. Let's just go ahead and blow that up. Yes. Boop. Florida woman allegedly shoots 2 ex-husbands on the same day. Boy, she's really cleaning up, huh? It's just time. It's just time to take care of business. A Florida woman has been charged with murder in connection with the deaths of her 2 ex-husbands. The Manatee County Sheriff's Department identified Susan Avalon, 51, as a person of interest in a shooting in Bradenton, Florida, the previous day. Deputies arrived at the home of a 54-year-old man who has not been named. He told them someone shot him in the abdomen when he answered the door, and he believed it might have been his ex-wife, Avalon. Was she wearing a disguise? They were married for 11 years, and detectives say Avalon owed the victim $4,000 in child support, so she owed him. Well, the victim was transported to a hospital where he died that evening. Avalon had allegedly picked up food from a Panera Bread and brought it with her to the home to entice the owner to answer the door. Detectives learned Avalon allegedly fired at the victim as soon as he opened the door. According to surveillance video from Panera Bread, the to-go order was not Avalon's, and she did not pay for it. Did he order it and she knew this? I wonder if does she work for like DoorDash and she knew the address? Now's my chance. I don't know. Anyway, the victim's 15-year-old daughter was at home at the time and reportedly heard gunfire and saw a masked person. Okay, so she was wearing a disguise in a silver Honda Odyssey driving away. Authorities tracked the Odyssey's license plate and located Avalon at her home. Well, when deputies arrived, they saw Avalon wiping down the car with bleach and asked to speak to her about her ex-husband. She reportedly asked them, which one? WWSB reports this led them to Hillsborough County to conduct a welfare check on her second ex-husband who lived in Tampa. When they arrived at his home, they found the door had been forced open, and a man was dead on the floor from gunshot wounds. Well, investigators determined that the cases were related. Yeah, it's a good guess, WTVT reports that Manatee County Sheriff's Office believes Avalon allegedly shot her second ex-husband in Tampa, went to Panera Bread, then drove to her first ex-husband's home in Bradenton to shoot him. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office charged Avalon with first-degree homicide. They are reportedly working with the state attorney's office to seek the death penalty. And, of course, Avalon will also face charges in Hillsborough County. I wonder who kills her first, for the execution. Well, there you go. She didn't really get over whatever happened, so she went and murdered her. Maybe he's the second husband. I don't know. He said 11 years. And he had custody of their daughter because obviously a court must have determined that, oh boy, is she batshit. So he got the custody of the girl. The other husband is probably a marriage that didn't last that long, or maybe he was the second husband and that recently ended. So she killed him first and then said, well, I'm going to kill my baby daddy. I guess that's how it went. Man. Hey, we'd like to talk to you about your husband. Which one? Well, she obviously knew what the conversation would be about. Well, they both recently are deceased, Yeah. While she's scrubbing down the vehicle that they have the license plate to with bleach. But I kind of wonder because the car wasn't involved. I mean, she went into the home of both of these men to kill them. But I don't know. Maybe she just thought, hey, just to be safe, better scrub the getaway car down. So, whatever. Oof. Well, that's what she did for the holidays, A. Thompson, 167 people committed 5,000 plus crimes in 2024. Just overall in the United States. Yeah. Or are you still talking about Nashville? Wallace Susan Karen Avalon is a homicidal maniac. Yes. Yes. And she should get the death penalty. Flat out. Hey, Thompson, Doug, do you check the police blotter in your town? Those small towns in the deep south have hilarious police blotters. Yeah, I did for a time. That's a good point. I really should look into that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times like the arrest records, but the actual, like the police ban and that sort of thing. Yeah, there's good material there. But like the arrest records, they're pretty scant on details. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So there's a Florida woman. Jays, the romance is over twice. And just in time for Christmas, she decided, you know what? And well, she did, We'd like to talk to you about your ex-husband. Which one? Oh, crap. Sure enough. Yeah, the other one's dead too. Hey, what are the odds? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Man had no regrets for shooting woman who confronted him over eating food. Let me do that again. Blah, 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 blah. There, in case I want to edit this later. Man has no regrets for shooting woman who confronted him over eating food she brought for kids. So he was insulted that she noticed he stole the food. Well, anyway, a Kentucky man is behind bars after police said he shot a woman in the arm because she got upset at him for eating snacks she brought for her kids. Kenneth Beals, 57, was charged with second-degree assault and arrested by officers from the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department. Police responded to a call from the emergency room at University of Louisville Hospital in connection with a woman who arrived there with a gunshot wound to her arm. When police asked the woman what happened, she told them that Beals allegedly pulled a gun on her after she asked him if he had eaten the snacks she bought for her children. Oh, maybe he didn't. Maybe he was wrongfully accused. How insulting. I know. I'll shoot her. It's not looking good for you, Beals. So Beals told the woman, yes. Okay. Yes, I ate your snack, and it was good. Before he allegedly took out a handgun and fired one shot at her. Police said the woman was treated for a non-life-threatening injury to her left arm. Beals was identified as the alleged shooter by the woman and witnesses who were at the home where the incident took place. According to the report, Beals was caught eating the snacks by the alleged victim's aunt, who told her niece that Beals was eating the food the woman brought for her children. The aunt left the home, and the woman ran into Beals as he was leaving. The confrontation over the snacks occurred as the two crossed paths. The woman drove herself to the hospital at 7:03 p.m. Beals was charged with second-degree assault and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. He is currently in custody at the Louisville Metropolitan Detention Center, where he's being held on $5,000 bond. Jeez, what the hell? I mean, I'm just not seeing his point at all. I don't think that rises to the level of needing to shoot somebody. I mean, maybe that's just me. Perhaps, just perhaps, he's got this problem about snacks, especially like maybe if they were really sweet, like candies or cakes or something, and he just can't resist it. And he gave in, and he's so filled with shame. And then here comes this woman, coming at him about it. And he flipped, he just can't deal with his, addiction, and he took it out on her. When in the end, it's really his problem, This makes no sense at all. He's like, yes, I did it. And they were good. Bam. It's like, hey, look, she makes good snacks. And then you shoot her. Yeah, I go, oh, I didn't understand. I thought those were for everybody. Damn, here, give her a few bucks. Sorry for the trouble. I'm really embarrassed. That's not how you deal with embarrassment, But, well, that's what he did. Jeez Louise. Hey, Thompson, you got to go on your local police website. They aren't on Google. Those police blotters are for, I'll get to it. Wallace, Doug, I used to work at both a TV station and a radio station which each had police scanners running in their newsrooms, but all of those 10 numbers were only clear to the reporters in the room. Yeah. But after a while, you kind of figure it out. Okay. Who's next? Tonight on Nailsin News. News. I don't even remember this one. Who is this charming lady? Well, we'll find out. Once again, we go to Florida. Yeah. Florida mom filmed herself abusing and berating ugly-ass young daughter and threatening to set the child's dad on fire. Good Lord. Yeah. A Florida woman is behind bars after abusing her daughter and threatening to set the girl's father on fire. Kristen Ann Happel. It's definitely not happy. 36 stands accused of 1 count of cruelty toward a child abuse without great bodily harm. The defendant is also charged on an out-of-state warrant as a fugitive from justice in Georgia. The underlying incident occurred on Christmas Day in Fort Myers. Man, that's how that poor little girl got her Christmas, That day, Happel sent several disturbing text messages and videos to a friend that involved the defendant's young daughter. Happel sent disturbing messages, including one video of her verbally and physically assaulting, the girl. The subject matter, however, appeared to be the little girl's father, whom the defendant repeatedly referred to in her message as fucking boy. Or fuck boy, I don't know. I'm gonna set him on fire and watch him fucking burn to death, fuck ass, motherfucker piece of shit. And how the fuck do I even fuck boys? Have his back? Anyone want to help me out? Because I ain't gonna be satisfied till I fucking kill him with my bare hands and spend the rest of my life in prison. That's pretty much how it went, One video shows Happel repeatedly battering her daughter's head. Jeez. She's not charged with physical injury. It said without bodily harm. I mean, bashing her head. Repeatedly battering her daughter's head by forcibly tapping it. Oh, tappingly and nudging. See, Doug, you got to read the whole statement, stupid. While law enforcement censored nearly all of the victims' information, the charging document alludes to an extremely young age by noting with redacted being so young, her cranial bones are extremely vulnerable to injury along with her brain. Oh, boy. Oh, geez. We're probably dealing with a toddler here, Additionally, the video showed the defendant throwing a blanket over the girl's entire face, which police claim could have endangered her breathing. Happel also allegedly berated the child on video. "Get your ugly ass out of here," the defendant allegedly said during the incident involving the blanket. Then the alleged abuse continued. This followed with Happel stating, "Someone come get this demonized child that came from fuckboy." And more words like such followed by, the charging document goes on. While stating such, the video showed Happel continuously battering the girl by forcibly tapping and nudging her head. The probable cause statement spends significant time explaining that the relationship between the friend who received the messages and the defendant, the friend who called police asking for a wellness check on the child, met Happel through her husband. The friend and her husband had offered to help Happel retain custody of the girl by providing the mother and daughter with housing. But over time, Happel received assistance through the Salvation Army, and the defendant did not need the other woman's help anymore. Okay. Police later found Happel and the girl at a Salvation Army branch. There, the mother was arrested while the girl was discovered soaked in her own urine as if it had been hours since she had her diaper changed. Like, good Lord, this is a young child. During a custodial interview after being Mirandized, the defendant was allegedly talkative about the videos and messages. Happel admitted to doing what was displayed in the video, and she emphasized that she admitted to saying what was said and doing what was done to the girl. Happel also took credit for the text messages that were sent along with the video. All right, then. The defendant is currently detained in the Lee County Jail on $7,500 bond. Well, she had her Miranda rights. She admitted to everything. Just throw her away, you know? Jeez. Yeah. I mean, in the mugshot, she's not looking her best. That's true. But some poor bastard thought, oh, wow, this chick's really into me. And now look what happens. I don't know. There had to have been some telltale sign somewhere, but you didn't pay attention. I understand. But, I mean, she's doing all this weird stuff. She immediately fesses up to it and all that. And these other two, her husband, who I'm assuming, is he the father? Is he fuckboy? It didn't sound like it. So this is friend and her husband, I'm assuming estranged and perhaps soon to be ex-husband, what have you, decided, yeah, she should have custody. And she's homeless. She's got to stay at a Salvation Army shelter. I mean, they did provide her a place and everything, but I mean, you're enabling, you know? Oh, well, you know, hopefully in the new year. Yeah. Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift, send them the link to PCB, LOL. PCB. Pop Culture Breakdown? I don't think we'll be covering these stories on that show. Wallace says, Crystal Karen Ann Happel has an attitude that would make the late Charles Manson look like Charles Schultz by comparison. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't get, I mean, they were obviously saying it was all redacted, so they didn't have a specific age. Oh, the child's young, and then you get down the kids in diapers. So that's pretty young. So I was like, oh, she would, you know, pat the head or slap the head or nudge the head. And I'm like, well, and then it's like, oh, it's a toddler, you know. I mean, to call her a bitch is an insult to bitches, you know? She's just downright evil. Evil. I'm not wrong. Speaking of evil bitches, mom accused of forcing son to use Pringles can as a toilet while keeping him locked away in closet avoids prison time. Now, how did she manage that? An Indiana woman learned her fate for hiding her son in her home after he ran away from his foster family, with prosecutors and cops saying she locked him in a closet and forced him to use the bathroom in a Pringles can so he wouldn't be found. What? That's my fucking can. Angie Harlan told police officers and agents with the Department of Child Services after they went to her house to retrieve the child. Nobody's taking my fucking kid, she said, while allegedly threatening to kill the boy. Harlan, 45, was sentenced to 2.5 years in Allen County Community Corrections Residential Services for felony intimidation and misdemeanor false informing after initially being hit with 2 neglect charges, a confinement charge, and a false informing charge. Prosecutors agreed to scrap those charges as part of a plea deal. After Harlan's arrest, she was accused of giving the child pills that she claimed were Tylenol. Her son, whose age has not been reported, allegedly told police, "It wasn't Tylenol. I know what Tylenol is." The boy had been living with a foster family who reported him missing on October 17th. Harlan was questioned by authorities after the report was made, but denied seeing him or knowing anything about his whereabouts. DCS received a tip that the child was at Harlan's home after she was interviewed, which prompted police to return and search the residence. Her son was found under a bed in a second-story bedroom. Agents asked the boy what had happened, and he accused Harlan of locking him away in a closet after he ran away from his foster family. He went to a random person's home first. An individual at the residence allowed him to use their phone to call Harlan to tell her what happened. Harlan allegedly went to the home, retrieved her son, returned to her house, and told him to get in the closet, which had a keyed padlock. Investigators said she gave the boy a Pringles can and told him to use the bathroom in it. The youth accused Harlan of giving him pills that made him feel drunk because he couldn't fall asleep. While searching the home, authorities found 2 prescription bottles that the boy said were given to him. The pills were Pregbalin, 75 milligrams, a painkiller, and hydrochloric, 25 milligrams, and an antihistamine that can also be used as a sedative. The medication has been prescribed to Harlan, and her son said he passed out after taking them. When police first came to Harlan's home, she allegedly ordered her child to get under the bed to avoid being seen. Well, it's the first place they're going to look, though. You know. She also took him to a park on one occasion and made him hide in a bush. Well, the Allen County Community Corrections Residential Services facility, where Harlan will be serving her sentence, operates a community-based supervision program. It is described online as an alternative to incarceration for moderate to high-risk post-conviction felony individuals. So no real punishment. No real punishment at all. I mean, they're not even going to give her a Pringles can for facilities. I mean, come on. When is the punishment going to fit the crime? I guess never. Ooh, God, what a beast. Jeez. LOL. Wallace Lang, Angie, Lucifer Holland. Lucifer is a wicked bitch who makes female dogs look like saints back in prison. Oh, yeah. I mean, female dogs know how to take care of their pups, you know. They don't lock them up with a Pringles can. Oh, no. A Pringles can. There. You can poop in that. It better not get on the floor. You dumb bug. That's my kid. My kid. Gee, I wonder why he was in foster care. Yeah, well, I guess we figured that one out. Man accused in Colorado homicide was released from jail a week before his ex was killed and placed in a trash can. Huh. I wonder what happened there. Police found the body of Colorado mother Annette Marie Valdez, 37, in a trash can. Valdez's ex-partner, Thomas Perales, really? Perales? 38, was arrested the next day and charged with first-degree murder in connection with her death. Blah, 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 blah. Perales was also charged with tampering with a deceased body. Ew. Domestic violence and 2 count of violation of a protection order. Well, yeah. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by KPLC, well, that's my local TV station. I thought this happened in Colorado. KPLC reports.
It's numbing.
It is.
It's hard.
Okay. Mother accused found. All right. Via CNN news source. Why is it? It's Colorado. I wonder why it's lifted from KPLC TV. Huh. Yeah. This is Lake Charles, Louisiana. I don't know whether all right. I don't know. I was like, oh, this happened in Louisiana? You know, I'm like, but okay, whatever. Valdez's ex-partner, Thomas Perales, 38, was arrested the next day and charged with first-degree murder in connection with her death. Perales was also charged with... yeah, I read all that. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by KPLC, Perales allegedly pushed Valdez's body around in a shopping cart God, for several days. And he allegedly told a witness that he left her body by a creek. Members of the area's homeless community said that they saw Perales walk around with a cart with a body covered in blankets inside. According to family members, Perales has been homeless for the past 2 years. Well, yeah, he was let out of jail for some dumb reason. After his arrest, Perales allegedly told detectives that he blacked out during a fight with Valdez at her home on Thanksgiving, and she became unresponsive after he put her in a headlock and put his hand over her mouth. He did allegedly got a trash can from an area supermarket and used it to remove the body from the apartment. Family members of the Valdez told KPLC, but it said it was via CNN. They had spent years trying to protect her from Perales' abuse. Her brother, Adam Larson, told the outlet he repeatedly tried to get Valdez away from Perales, but she continued to return to him, citing the fact that he was the father of her children. Well, police records show Perales has a history of domestic violence and of violating the protection orders Valdez had filed against him. According to KUSA, police had responded to Valdez's home 67 times in the last 2 years, and 9 of those calls involved domestic violence situations. He had recently tried to break in to Valdez's apartment and caused property damage while Valdez and her 3 children were inside. He was subsequently arrested and jailed. On November 21st, he was released, and Valdez was reported missing a week later. The children are staying with extended family. Yeah. Well, gee, if only there were some warning signs, perhaps this could have been prevented. But Mike Pencer. Howdy, Doug. Hello, Mike. So there you go. You see, this happens on occasion when violent, nutty people are let back out on the street, when they're constantly saying, I'm going to get her, I'm going to teach her a lesson. A lot will even flat out tell you, I'm going to kill her and all that sort of stuff. And then it's, my God, he killed her. It's like, yes. I don't know. I guess it's just the way it is, but maybe he too can be housed at a social services alternative rehabilitation center, I don't know, teach him arts and crafts and finger painting and stuff like that. I might fix it. Might. Georgia swingers playdate meetup ends in fatal shooting. Oh man, that's just not how you want that to go, huh? A woman and her boyfriend met a man on an adults-only swingers website. But their scheduled meetup ended in a shooting. Alfonso Warner, 40, was arrested and taken into custody without incident by the Savannah Police Department in connection with the fatal shooting. At around 5 a.m. that day, a woman, who has not been named, called the police and said a man had been shot and she was driving him to the hospital. First responders met them on the way, but the victim, Arthur Gaynor, 48, died of his injuries before arriving at the hospital. Investigators said in court the shooting took place during a planned meetup. The woman allegedly met Warner on a local adults-only website for swingers called CDC Swingers Lifestyle, in case you're interested. And they texted and met up before the day of the shooting. During a text message exchange, Warner allegedly agreed to let the woman bring her boyfriend Gaynor to a meetup or play date, and they arrived at his apartment around 1:30 a.m. The woman claimed Gaynor felt disrespected during the meetup, so she suggested they leave. As they were gathering their things and getting dressed, the woman alleged Warner entered the room and shot Gaynor in the stomach. Warner has been charged with murder and aggravated assault, according to the Savannah Police Department. The investigation is ongoing. Well, one wonders what the problem was. A lot of times jealousy and stuff occurs with these sorts of things. But it's usually the boyfriend who flips out and, murders the other guy or beats him up or whatever, So what was the deal? He wanted to hook up with this girl, but it's a swingers site, so it's going to involve, multiple people. So he says, hey, I'm going to have my boyfriend here. That's fine. But, look, I don't know, but was Mr. Gaynor, into the gay? And this guy is like, no. Then he felt, well, I'm disrespected. And then the other guy is like so creeped out that he shot him. Or did he actually go through with some things and and then suddenly he says, I can't do this. And then shot the guy. I don't know. But hey, maybe it's just me, but I'm thinking this swinging thing is just not a good idea. Let's see here. Mike Panzer says, greetings from New Mexico, the crime capital of America. Really? Wow. Wallace Lang, Thomas Satan Prellis is a homeless, homicidal maniac who would think that he is living the high life if he got a shack. And maybe he will, Wallace Lang, Alfonso Single Shot Warner is a homicidal hothead swinger. And probably a bit confused about certain sexual manners. I don't know. You're going to do a three-way. It's you and two women. That's the only way. Then it's like one of the women does the killing. Sometimes. All right. Next story. It can't be worse than that one, huh? No. Well, Ohio man pleads guilty to involuntary manslaughter for pushing naked woman out apartment window to her death. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for the whole thing. A man has pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter in connection with the death of 44-year-old Shannon Ashcroft Saylor in exchange for the dismissal of murder and assault charges. So it's, kind of an accident. Anyway, Anthony Howard, 53, at the time of the Ashcroft Saylor's death, had an ongoing sexual relationship with the victim. He admitted to pushing her out of a window and said that at the time he believed she had died of a drug overdose. Really? Ashcroft Saylor's body fell approximately 20 feet. Howard dragged it to the area in which it was discovered, and you still gave him a deal. Howard then disposed of Ashcroft Saylor's belongings. Yeah, if you walk in on your drugged out girlfriend and she's dead, first thing you want to do is throw her out the window. It's a logical conclusion. Her body was discovered October 8th, 2023, and Howard was arrested 4 days later. He was charged with abuse of a corpse, obstructing official business, and tampering with evidence. I would have thought the abuse of the corpse and tampering with evidence would be the same, but I guess when it's particularly with the corpse, so the tampering with evidence would concern getting rid of her belongings, all that stuff. Anyway, on February 9th, 2024, a grand jury indicted Howard on the additional charges of 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of involuntary manslaughter. According to the Hamilton County Coroner, Ashcroft Sales, thought her name was Saylor, might have eventually died from a drug overdose. Oh, well, there you go. See, his original story kind of holds up. But the fall from the window caused her death. Oh, so all he had to do was wait. Idiot. Anyway, according to WKRC, Howard will receive credit for the time he spent in jail awaiting trial. Yeah. Because, he's always going to believe, look, she was dying anyway. So I guess that worked in his favor. Even though the fall did it. I mean, couldn't she have gotten to the hospital and got the Narcan? At least try. I don't think throwing her out of a window is going to solve that, but whatever, they gave him a deal, so Make that of what you will. Do, 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 do. Sometimes you got to go the extra mile to take care of your loved ones, and it can go badly. Cop describes horror show in home where wife pretended to take care of dead brother-in-law for 6 months. A Pennsylvania woman who kept her late brother-in-law's dead body in her home for several months so she could cash his Social Security checks is taking a plea deal. Debbie Bebout, 64. This Bebout fraud is expected to plead guilty to 1 count of felony theft as part of a fast-track deal. Local news outlet Herald Standard reported that Bebout and her husband, 68-year-old James Bebout, appeared remotely for a preliminary hearing on December 26 in connection with charges of theft, criminal conspiracy, and abuse of a corpse. James Bebout reported that he found his brother, 64-year-old Michael Bebout, dead when he brought him breakfast in the morning of January 16th. When police arrived, they found nothing but skeletal remains. Wow. Michael Bebout had been dead for several months. During the December 26th preliminary hearing, Green Washington Regional Police Corporal Adrian Pooh testified about the scene he and his colleagues encountered when they entered Bebout's home in Canton Township, Pennsylvania on January 16th. Pooh said the home smelled of death, and the extreme odor was so overwhelming that it was an olfactory deluge. Wow. So, pretty bad. At the time of the discovery, Green Washington Regional Police Chief William DeForte described the home as one of the most atrocious and horrific conditions we've ever found a decedent. There was wall-to-wall dog feces. What the hell? Well, maybe that was just common, but even before the brother-in-law died. So they're used to stench, So they had no problem with a rotting corpse in the house. Anything for that check. The situation looked like a hoarder had lived there. Very difficult to traverse through the residence, and the odor was extraordinarily unpleasant. Hey, I'm beginning to think these people are crazy. Pooh testified that the home looked like, again, a horror show, and he and his colleagues were expecting a body that was 24 to 48 hours old. You mean from time of death, I guess. An autopsy determined that Michael Bebout likely died sometime in August 2024. Authorities did not suspect foul play at his death. James Bebout told police that Debbie Bebout was acting as his brother's primary caregiver. On the morning of January 16th, Debbie Bebout was in jail on a bench warrant, so James Bebout took on the role. When he found his brother that morning, he told police he was stiff as a board. During his testimony, Pooh said he told James Bebout there was no way he didn't know what was going on, adding, he was dazed. Further investigation revealed that Debbie Bebout had been pretending to take care of Michael Bebout for months so she could cash his Social Security checks totaling $6,189. Pooh testified that Debbie Bebout never implicated her husband in her scheme. Well, that's nice. That's sweet. There's love there. She spent the money on groceries, kerosene to heat the home, and other living expenses. While Debbie Bebout agreed to plead guilty to a felony count of theft, James Bebout maintained that he had nothing to do with the plan to cash his late brother's Social Security checks, nor did he realize his brother was dead until he brought him breakfast that January morning. The Herald Standard reported that he told his public defender, "I can't agree to something I didn't do," while James Bebout's public defender noted that his wife did not implicate her husband. Assistant District Attorney Robert West countered that there was no way he did not know there was a dead body decomposing in his 2-bedroom home. Well, maybe he just thought it was the dog poo, West cited the immediate smells that police described upon entering the house. But when you wallow in stench, after a while, you don't notice it as much. And the fact that Michael Bebout's body was in a bedroom mere feet from the living room where the living Bebouts slept on couches. Inaction is action when it comes to the desecration of a body, West said. The judge agreed, saying living at the same address as the body negates the claim that the defendant wasn't aware. Well, Debbie Bebout is expected to be sentenced to time served. James Bebout is set to go on trial for conspiracy to commit theft and a misdemeanor charge of abuse of a corpse after the judge dismissed one charge of felony theft. He is in custody at the Washington County Jail, where he's being held on $6,000 cash bond. Well, I assume he'll get time served as well. Jeez. From the outside of the house, it doesn't look too bad, but inside, well, that was a different story. A rotting corpse and dog poo. Jeez. I mean, look, you got trashy people, they're kind of lazy and ridiculous. And then there's stories like this. But, it was over $6,000, so. Wallace says Debbie Karen Bebout is a necromancer of her own brother-in-law, and she is also a poo-poo head. Afraid so. Hard to argue against it. Okay, our final story. We always want to end on a light note. After all the murder, dead bodies, and dog poo, stuff like that. But now, making a baby. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that something? Yeah, let's end on that. Yeah. Oh, I got to move it over there. Yeah. Hospital workers wrongfully inseminated mother during couple's fertility procedure, leaving their child with medical issues inherited from total stranger. Well, look, haven't you ever made a mistake at work? So, Oregon hospital workers wrongfully inseminated a woman during a fertility procedure with foreign sperm, from a stranger instead of her husband's, resulting in the birth of a baby girl who suffers from medical issues that were inherited from the biological father. So, what's his sperm doing in the sperm bank? Don't they screen for that? I guess not. The wife and husband, identified in their legal complaint as CW and KW, respectively, strange names, say they were stripped of the unifying bond of creating shared life, while also being permanently reminded that their firstborn child was a mistake. Well, they're suing Oregon Health and Science University and Providence Health, seeking $17 million in damages. CW had to bear the humiliation, discomfort, and physical distress of carrying the pregnancy to term and laboring and delivering a child conceived due to the wrongful use of another male's semen specimen. KW was stripped entirely of his biological fatherhood of the firstborn child with his wife. So yeah, the Oregon Health and Science cucked the poor guy, you know. The couple underwent an insemination procedure at OSU, the Oregon Health place. Anyway, in 1981. In 1981? Good Lord. This is a long time ago. After being referred to it, its family family planning unit in Portland. You mean by it's okay. A man identified as RW. Wow, they're all W's. But it's starting to sound like everyone got an L. Anyway, also sought fertility treatments at OSU with his spouse a year earlier, with doctors obtaining his sperm. Oh, that's how it went. And then wrongfully using it for CW and KW's procedure. The couple had no idea what had happened. They didn't find out about the alleged mistake until less than 2 years before filing their lawsuit. So this 1981 thing is wrong, huh? Do they mean that the hospital was founded in 1981, I guess? This is so badly written. They didn't find out until 2 years. I mean, you know, their daughter's an old woman by now, you know. Well, not terribly old, but you get it. Not a baby. But it's 2 years later, and they filed a lawsuit December 26, 2025 in Multnomah County Circuit Court. To KW's and CW's excitement, CW became pregnant, and she gave birth to baby girl AP. How come it isn't AW? The couple raised AP as their biological child, never thinking that OSU and or Providence had wrongfully inseminated CW with foreign semen during her procedure. Genetic testing later revealed KW is not AP's biological father. The alleged dad, RW, also had a child with his spouse. Oh, so they had a lot of supply of his, OSU is accused of attempting to conceal or otherwise deny that they wrongfully inseminated CW. Further, OSU has failed to properly investigate and notify its patients of medical errors after being placed on notice of plaintiff's claims. Well, yeah, they don't want the lawsuit. The parents say OSU's staff took possession of KW's semen sample and failed to ensure proper chain of custody in multiple regards. Yeah, you can't just toss that around, you know. They proposed that KW's sample could have been used to inseminate a wrong recipient as well. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's right. Of course they did. Yeah, where's his? Oh, no. Oh, jeez. OSU and or Providence's procedures, if any, were woefully insufficient to ensure semen specimens were accurately received by the intended recipient. The complaint alleges, noting how OSU maintained professional affiliations, agencies, and relationships with other medical facilities, entities, and providers for the facilitation of medical care and fertility procedures for patients, including Providence St. Vincent Hospital in Portland, which is owned and operated by Providence Health. As a result of the above described conduct, plaintiffs have suffered and continue to suffer mental and emotional anguish, physical pain, emotional distress, physical manifestations of emotional distress, including embarrassment, loss of self-esteem, disgrace, humiliation, loss of enjoyment of life that have prevented and will continue to prevent plaintiffs from performing daily activities and obtaining the full enjoyment of life, the couple's lawyers say. It remains unknown whether defendants performed any screening on the foreign donor prior to improperly using the donor's material, thereby exposing CW and AP to communicable diseases. Jeez. And well, I guess the good news is there's a baby girl, but and I don't know. I mean, communicable diseases, so that the bio dad had STDs. I don't know. Jeez. Well, what a mess, you know. Yeah, I know. Hey, don't you make mistakes at work? Sure. But come on. So I wonder where KW's child is, you know. Out there somewhere. Yeah. Oh, well. Wallace laying a sperm bank that is accused of double dipping in the sperm pool. Yes, I'm afraid so. Captain Infinity Time Travel Police says hi or live long and prosper, all that good stuff. A. Thompson says, it smelled okay. So I guess so. They just reached in the fridge. Good stuff. And they went with it. Yeah. Look, you got a kid. What do you want from us? You know, I guess that's their attitude. I don't know. I don't work there. All right, let me let's see here. Yeah, I guess I could do a little bit of this. Probably do the window capture. Do 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 do. Show Photoshop. There it is. Whoop. There we go. Oh, I need to see that. Yeah, there we are. So, of course, Melton scored a New Year's show that featured Scarlett Hampton doing allegations against her boyfriend, Matt Mead. And later on, Matt Mead comes on to the stream to deny it all, to say the relationship is over. He cussed her out. He was so very angry. He burned one of her hats and went on to threaten Moody's life several times, apparently because he doesn't like people from New Zealand nor their accents. So I guess I don't understand that. Scarlett was, of course, her usual absolutely coherent self. So bad, all over the place, a big mess. But at the end, I think, well, look, the best thing is for them to not have anything to do with each other and move on. And one can only hope that Scarlett gets the help she obviously desperately needs from people who actually generally care and know about her, being family, more than likely, and go from there. Well, doing Pat's show, apparently, Matt has softened somewhat and sounds he wants to be with her still. So just sounds like a really dumb thing to do. But I don't know, something about Scarlett, I guess. He's really into her. And despite this continuously happening. So that's a very simplified description of it all. But I don't know. So I did this illustration and then colored it a little bit later, and then decided, oh, well, guess I'll add some background. So basically, here's Matt with the hat that actually, I didn't really get a good look at the hat that he did burn. That was hers in his fireplace. And so he tossed it in there. Because he was so mad and all that stuff. And but the look I took was the hat she was actually wearing. She never looked like, well, she did look crying and stuff like that, but she did have this hat on the whole time. And I was like, damn it, I forgot all about the hat. So just for the purposes of illustration of the events, we'll just, the hat makes his appearance here. I don't know. So there you go. That's the deal. And nobody learned anything. But certainly not the two of them. And I guess the saga continues since apparently he really is moving to Florida. So I guess he'll do that, and she'll probably follow him there. I don't know. So anyway, I went to AI for quick and easy backgrounds. So this isn't at all what Matt's house or home or wherever he was residing looks like. But hey, good enough. So we'll stick that in there. Don't care for the window, but we'll do it like this. There's certain, like the color scheme kind of matches what I could see. I mean, he was on his phone, so I didn't get a total good look of it, but yeah. And we'll do a halftone pattern here. I gotta change up my colors, which you can't see on EVMux or through OBS, rather. But hey, it's what I got. So I'll add the blue here. We'll just go ahead and let it be blue. And go into filters, sketch, halftone pattern. And I'll increase it, contrast, make the dots a little bigger. And ta-da, there you go. That gives it an element of separation. Yeah. So I'll get rid of all the other stuff here. Could have just gone ahead and put the white background in it, but I didn't. So there we go. All right. And that's how that will appear. And I think you might want to increase the transparency a bit. That looks a little better. All right. So when you're being very lazy about background, you can just go get yourself a AI program to provide the background, So here we have a girl's room, which is what it looked like. A Scarlet was it? Oh, I don't want that. It probably looked like this. Head posters and stuff on the wall and all that kind of thing. And I don't know. I mean, I know she went there to be with her mother. So I think, geez, is that the room she actually grew up in? I don't know. But maybe like that. I don't know. I had a couple of, I guess this one, because I wanted one that had, pictures on the wall. I guess this one will work. All right. That'll work. And we'll take that out. Out. In the right one, aren't I? Yeah. No, come on, move. Don't want to do it too much. There we go. There we are. Let me look at this. Does the guidelines even show? Yeah, they do show up. Okay. All right. Do I do the same thing? I wonder. Could just move the halftone pattern over here and use the same one. Yeah, kind of works. Well, it really doesn't matter. I could do, no, it still wouldn't work. Well, I know. I'll take all this out and merge. That takes care of this, that, and the t'other. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Put that there. Yeah. All right. Good enough. All right. Here we go. So there we have it. Oh, no. So I suppose I could do another one where it's like Moody and Melton watching from their respective vantage points. But she's never came across as coherent and whatnot in any of the videos I've seen her talking to people and stuff. It's very difficult to follow quite a bit. But at first, it seemed like, oh wow, she almost seemed kind of coherent when she was talking to Melton and Moody, and then initially, when Matt comes on, I mean, she's sort of fighting with him really, and then he brings on this woman who was a witness to one of the incidents that she talked about her being locked in the bedroom and escaping by jumping out of the window. And this woman was there, and one of the things about it is that she's speaking up for Matt, and she was saying that she decided to separate them, and basically sent Scarlett to her room, and that's when the jumping out of the window thing happened. But enough to where she was concerned about, look, you just need to go to, you guys can't be together right now, whatever. But she didn't say anything that he was physically abusing her or anything of that nature. But, they were fighting, I mean, by fighting, I mean, probably yelling at each other about whatever. I don't know. Yelling about Mersh, yelling about, I don't know. Mary Jane is another thing that sparks fights, that irritates Scarlett. So, what have you? And but she got very upset when this Jenny woman come on, and then that was it. All and it was very difficult to have conversations at all. And that one set her off. that I never meant for her to be involved in this or whatever. But and it's like she's a grown woman and she's fine. She's sitting there, but and I don't know. It partly just the disorders and psychosis coming to the forefront, and some sort of mother figure that she sees in this woman, and that sort of thing. But also, it pretty much to distract from any more questions or anything else. Yeah. It's probably a combination of both. Yeah. So anyway, that's how that unfolded. So here's the image that I conjured for that. I guess I'll do further work on it. Like I said, Melton and Moody, put a section over here, and they're sitting in two different squares looking at all of this. Come up with some narrative, but ultimately it's like after all this, and he was like, "I'm done with you. I'll never speak to you again." And I was like, "Yeah, that's for the best." I don't know exactly everything that happened, but and I don't know that anybody can really, can anyone really save this girl from her problems? I'm extremely dubious on that, but and because I can immediately say Matt's not equipped to deal with this psychosis, and but then who would be, because even professionals can't really reach people that are that far gone, and there may be no coming back for poor Miss Hampton. So anyway, there we have it. There's the cartoon. And let me check my super tips. Nothing. Oh well. Once again, I tried. Hey, Thompson, stealth is done with YouTube. Okay. Wallace Lang, hot-headed hat wearer, decides to give someone else a hot head. Well, she wasn't wearing it. You understand? It's just the hat. He didn't suggest, now come put it on. Hey, Thompson, I saw a lot of it. I think what we witnessed was a real medical crisis. It reminded me of dealing with my type 1 diabetic uncle in the 80s, just odd, incoherent behavior. Yes. Hey, Thompson, FG lived with that guy. Sorry to remind you of that. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, that was the whole Post-it notes thing. And that, that was Matt Mead. And then not long after that, his own drama explodes with his girlfriend and all that. And I was like, damn it. We had a good little story there. With Post-it notes all over the place. It was like, whoa, what the hell was that? Hey, Thompson, a lot of women have lived there. No similar reports. Keep that in mind. Yes. Hey, Thompson, had some Anna Nicole Smith qualities. Remember how weird she was? Yeah, she was a mess. Off topic show. Well, hello, Matt. Off topic show. Much love, brother. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Matt. Hopefully it will be a happy one. Every year we do this. Well, thank God that one's over. What are the odds come January 2027? Thank God 2026 is over. But hey, look, hope springs eternal. So, yes, Happy New Year to you and yours. And, individually, people can have very good years, even me. Wallace Lang, some people are unable to make sense of their own lives, let alone whom they choose to live with. Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of this, when it comes to this, everybody immediately, has judgments. And I understand where they're coming from, especially when you see the videos of them two are very, very disturbing. To make a full-on criminal case, in all of those scenarios, yes, there could be an arrest and everything, but for an absolute case, I don't think so. Unless once you go in, you have the probable cause, you might find something, and there's a little more to this, and that sort of thing. But so far, it's a bad relationship for both of them, and but it's one of these things like, for Matt, he's on the inside, he's in this, he's in love with her, or whatever you want to call it, obsession, but he's the one feeling it. Nobody else does. We don't, and we get, oh, well, you thought it would be exciting to be with this porn star and all this sort of thing. But there's a little something there. It got into his head and he's kind of stuck on it, especially after all this, to be that mad. And then less than 24 hours later, I still love her. I still want her with me. Oh, good Lord. So after you cool down and you still, but this is going to keep happening. And plus how do you communicate with her? That's the problem. And whatever the disorder is, whatever the cause with drugs, the drugs aren't helping, obviously, but there's, it seems like neurological level disorders. And I don't know where she got, if she makes it to 30, if she can, how far she could be catatonic by then. I don't know. It's very sad. And that's the problem with people who really do love her or really know her and stuff. And they're probably utterly helpless to save her. And it's going to hurt a lot. And, but it's just for, a 4-month relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, that there's nothing he can do. And that's a hard thing, but I think it would be the best choice. Certainly for him. As for saving her and everything, man, it can happen, but more times than not, it doesn't. Hey, Thompson, Doug can save her. I doubt it. I've seen this situation time and time again, and sometimes there's some amount of stability that occurs. Some of these people can even hold jobs, and okay, that's the best you can hope for. But anyway, Wallace says, hey, Thompson, don't give Doug that kind of trouble. Hey, Thompson, Doug can get her some insulin or something. I don't think insulin is going to deal with her problem. DJ, play nice. Good morning and Merry New Year, Mr. Nailsin. Thanks for hosting. Well, you're very welcome. And Merry New Year to you too. DJ, play nice. Chat up and share out the live. Okay, still no super tip. I tried. I did. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I did my news stories. I did my cartoon, and that's that. So, got to go back to work. Well, now tonight, it is Friday. So tonight I'll be at work. Maybe I can do a live stream Saturday morning. I definitely plan on doing one for the Sunday comics show, and I need to shake that up a bit. But then again, it's hard to do because I never know what condition I'm going to be in after coming out of work. That's why I'm more tempted to just pre-tape stuff. You may even just turn those into premieres or something. I don't know. I tried that a while back, and then it cut off at 32 minutes or something. I'm like, what the hell? Supposed to go over an hour. So then I had to upload it as just a regular video, Oh, well, what do I know? Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll do it again soon. And, when I got the Nailsin Show podcast will be out Saturday morning. It'll have, it's audio, of course, but it'll have Nailsin news stories as well. And a brand spanking new episode of Sun King. Oh boy, it's a rollicking superhero adventure. In fact, since I'm talking about that, I might as well. Why don't I ever advertise my stuff? I don't need that anymore. All right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We'll just do the share screen. Not super tip. I need, there it is. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. So indieplanet.com/Douglas-Nelson. See, it's called Douglas Nelson. And oh boy, look at all the comic books. Yep. Doodleverse Comics. There will be another one on the way. Still working on it, but hopefully, I mean, I can't really give a window for it because the last time I did, it took forever for it to end up in the store. Etc. Woman comic I did for a friend. Night, based on the audio plays of the same name that are regularly featured in the Mr. Nailsin Show. That's right. And then I adapt them to comic books. So there's Night 1, Night 2, Night 3, and another second series within the Night, which is his early years. He didn't always look like that. He used to look like this. See? Oh boy, you learn things like that. Sun King. So only one of his so far. Also working on the second one, which will also feature a backup story of Bubba Stargone. Both Bubba and Sun King have audio plays. And yeah, you guessed it. They're regularly featured in the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast on RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Amazon. Where's some of the other platforms we got? Stuff like that. So, oh my goodness, the opportunities are legion. Move up here. Ew, that doesn't look great. So, all right, we'll take that out. Whoop, there we go. That'll work. Oh, wait, I got to take down the. So, anyway, indieplanet.com, /Douglas-Nelson. And you can look up the Nailsin comics, Night, and good stuff like that. And you will be helping out your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And you get a comic book. You can go the digital route for only 99 cents or $3.99 for a print copy that you can actually hold in your hands. Yes. What are you waiting for? Next Christmas? Well, I guess I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. We will do another one soon, if not before. No, probably leave it at soon. And that'll be nice, won't it? I think so. I do. So Happy New Year, everybody. And we'll talk again soon. Or later and soon. Something like that. I don't know. You figure it out.
Just your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin news. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin news.